Imagine waking up on a morning in 1965. You step outside and see the swastika flying over the Empire State Building. In schools, children recite the oath to Hitler. And on world maps, there are only 3 superpowers: Germany, Japan, and what's left of the United States. Sounds like a nightmare, right? But it came closer to happening than you think. Today we're exploring history's most terrifying scenario. What if the Nazis had won World War II? For the Nazis to win the war, they needed to change one critical thing: Operation Barbarossa. June 22nd, 1941. Hitler launches the largest invasion in human history. In our timeline, this was already late. The invasion was supposed to start in May, but Mussolini's failures in Greece delayed everything by 6 crucial weeks. But what if those 6 weeks were never lost? The change. Hitler invades on May 15th, 1941, 6 weeks earlier than reality. Those 6 extra weeks mean German forces reach Moscow before the October rains, before the winter freeze stops their advance. Sounds small, right? It's everything. Those 6 weeks mean German forces reach Moscow before the October rains turn the roads to mud, before the winter freeze stops their advance. Moscow falls in November 1941. Stalin evacuates east to Sverdlovsk, but the psychological blow is devastating. The Soviet command structure fractures. Entire armies surrender. By spring 1942, the Wehrmacht stands at the Ural Mountains. The Soviet Union is gone. With the Soviets defeated, everything changes. Europe, 1942 to 1950. Germany doesn't just occupy Europe, they reshape it. The entire continent becomes Großgermanisches Reich, the Greater Germanic Reich. France, Poland, Ukraine, they're no longer countries. They're administrative zones, labor pools, resource farms. Himmler's SS implements General Plan Ost, the master plan for the East. 30 million Slavs are either enslaved, deported, or killed to make room for German settlers. The Holocaust, no longer constrained by a 2-front war, becomes even more systematic, more thorough, more complete. By 1950, there are no Jews left in Europe. The British question. Britain stands alone, again. But this time, there's no Soviet front bleeding the Wehrmacht dry. No hope of American supplies turning the tide. Churchill faces a choice: keep fighting a war he cannot win, or negotiate. In our alternate timeline, let's say Churchill falls in 1942. A peace faction takes over, Lord Halifax perhaps, or even Edward VIII, brought back from exile. The Treaty of Dover, 1942. Britain keeps its island and its empire, but it becomes a neutral state. No navy in the North Sea, no troops on the continent, just quiet survival. America's dilemma. Now here's where it gets interesting. Without the Soviet Union grinding down German forces, without Britain as a staging ground for D-Day, what does America do? Pearl Harbor still happens in December 1941. Japan still attacks. So America is at war in the Pacific. But in Europe? Roosevelt wants to intervene. But how? Invading Fortress Europe without British bases, without Soviet allies, it's a suicide mission. Congress pushes back. America First gains momentum. Lindbergh's voice grows louder. Let Europe be Europe. By 1943, America signs a separate peace with Germany. A cold, bitter peace. But peace. The focus shifts entirely to Japan, the Japanese Empire. With Germany dominant in the West, Japan has free reign in the East.
China falls completely by 1944. India, already weakening under British colonial strain, erupts in chaos. The Japanese co-prosperity sphere stretches from Burma to the Philippines to Indonesia. Australia fortifies. Alone. America, nuclear weapons ready by 1945, uses them. Not on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but on Tokyo and Osaka. Japan surrenders. But the cost is higher. The death toll is higher. And now the world has two superpowers, Nazi Germany and the United States.
Welcome to 1950. The world is divided, not by an iron curtain, but by an ocean curtain. Europe under the swastika. Berlin is the capital of the world, or at least half of it. The Reich stretches from the Atlantic to the Urals, from Norway to North Africa. Germania, Hitler's dream capital, is under construction. Buildings designed to last 1,000 years. A city built by slaves. But here's the problem. Empires built on conquest and ideology, they don't last. Hitler dies. Maybe in 1955, maybe 1960. He's mortal, after all. What comes next? A power struggle. Goering versus Himmler versus Speer. The Wehrmacht versus the SS. The Reich might fragment. Or it might become even more brutal under a younger, more fanatical generation. Either way, it's not stable. It's a powder keg. America's isolation. The United States retreats into its hemisphere. South America becomes the new frontier. Not through conquest, but through economics. The dollar diplomacy on steroids. Canada and the US merge defenses. Mexico becomes a partner state. But American culture changes. The idealism of the 1940s dies. Cynicism replaces it. We didn't save the world. We just survived. The tech race accelerates. Jets, rockets, computers, all developed faster because the threat is existential. By 1960, both America and Germany have ICBMs. Both have hydrogen bombs. The Cold Peace is born. Not Cold War, Cold Peace. Because no one dares fight. The stakes are too high. The resistance. But here's the thing about oppression. It breeds resistance. In France, Poland, Ukraine, underground movements never die. They adapt. They wait. Partisan attacks, sabotage, assassination attempts. The Reich spends as much resources suppressing rebellions as it does building monuments. Germany controls the land, but it never controls the people. The long game. Fast forward to 1980. The Reich is still standing, but it's cracking. Economic stagnation, an unwinnable insurgency in the East, a generation that didn't live through the war asking, why are we doing this? America, meanwhile, has prospered in isolation. Technology, innovation, culture. The dollar versus the Reichsmark, democracy versus fascism. And the world holds its breath, wondering, will this cold peace last? Or will there be one final war to end it all? So, what if the Nazis won World War II? The world would be darker, divided, haunted by what was lost. Millions more would have died. Entire cultures would have been erased. And humanity would live under the shadow of two empires, each armed with weapons that could end civilization in an afternoon. It's a reminder of how close we came, and how lucky we are that history went the way it did. Because in our timeline, the Nazis didn't win. Evil didn't triumph. And that's not luck. That's because people fought back. People resisted. People said no. Sometimes the good guys actually win, but it's never guaranteed. If you found this interesting, let me know what alternate history you want explored next. The Roman Empire? The Cold War going hot? Napoleon conquering Europe? Drop a comment, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.